All right, hey now, it's the Rob from 1061 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Please say hello to the wonderful, the charismatic, the ramblin' Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning. If you would, could you call me Mr. Money in the Bank? Since I don't know how many times you've done this in post-to-post history. 100%er last night. You weren't far behind with only one match off, but I was 100%er. I was proud of myself, Rob.
Yeah,
we booked the pay-per-view.
As you should be. Yeah, you did a really good job predicting the show. I honestly, I'm not going to go back on this, but I really wanted to have the same card as you. I had New Day not winning the titles last night, which I was right about, and then I just switched it. The only thing stopping me was that I feel like it'd be weird to have a pay-per-view with no title changes, and that's what brought me back. Right,
that's what you did. I just went ahead and went with my gut. If you had stuck with your gut,
wait a minute,
we both would have been 100%ers.
Hold on, I feel like we're not getting the audio from you. Hold on.
You can't hear me?
Well, wait, talk again.
I'm talking. How about this? It's showing up on my side.
Okay, it's bouncing on your side.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very high. I don't know why. I can't adjust that. My mic is what my mic is.
I hate giving our viewers homework, but if anyone watching could just give me a thumbs up or let me know how he sounds. I'm trying something a little different today to try to make this a little smoother. So just give me a word if you can. Just let me know how things are going. Anyone, Steve, Mike, whoever's watching. Our recap about what we got here. Hold on. Okay, Steve says audio is good. All right, perfect. And with the video, it seems to be fine. So thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
Steve was cracking me up last night. I was on a Facebook thread with Steve and Michael and Tony, post-show, and they were commenting through the pay-per-view, and some of the hashtags Steve was coming up with making me laugh.
Yeah, I was on that too, but what were some of his hashtags?
I don't think I can tell you. I mean,
there were some good ones. I just can't remember them.
They involved, some of them involved lips, some of them involved back doors, and just some of them were funny. They were just all funny, and it was all funny.
Yeah, well, it's a tough thread for someone who, may be a few minutes behind on the show or something, doesn't want to get spoiled or anything like that.
It happened to me. I got a little behind putting Evan to bed at one point, but then I caught up, and it didn't matter to me.
All right, well, catching up means you missed stuff.
No, I caught up the old-fashioned way.
What's that?
I caught up at the end of the pay-per-view.
So you were just behind?
I was just behind. I paused it, and then I just was behind.
Okay.
Behind by about 15 minutes. So I stopped looking once we got into the main event because I did not want to be spoiled. But I didn't miss anything. And boy, I wish I had.
Okay, interesting. Let's get started. Instead of going, sometimes I like to build up to the letter grades, and sometimes I like to just kind of come out swinging with them. This is going to be really interesting because I actually liked the show last night. What?
You and I we can't ever agree. It's in the cards. We're never going to agree.
No, watch the prediction. Watch any predictions episode. We agree quite a bit. Last night being one of those days.
We always agree on that, but we never agree on the enjoyment level of the show. I feel like we always disagree on the enjoyment level.
So I believe, consistent, and I'll explain why. I'll explain what I liked about it, and I'm going to start with my letter grade. So, as you know, I'm pretty stringent on my letter grades, but I'm honest and I give them a lot of thought. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
This may surprise you, given I'm the guy who gives the D pluses for these B shows quite a bit. And I will reiterate, I like the show. I feel very comfortable giving last night's show a C+. Following all the D pluses that we've had, several C minuses, this was my favorite B show this year, I think. And I'm happy to explain why. But before we do, I want to know what kind of angle you're coming from. Are you coming from a spot of agreement? You said you didn't like it, and I'm saying I did. C+, very slightly above average grade.
The main event was awesome. The main event was what it was supposed to be. I would give the main event. If I had turned my television on, I would have given it an A. That's an A main event.
The main event being the ladder match?
The ladder match.
Okay. But there were several matches.
There were more than the main event. The Jinder Mahal Randy Orton match I thought was good. I thought it was good, and it went the way that I wanted it to.
I really liked that match.
And it was booked the right way.
I really liked that match.
It was a great match. For the only reason that this show doesn't get my very first F.
An F?
No, they don't get an F because those two matches give it a D+ or a C-. I would give it a C- because those two matches, which were 2/5 of the whole card, were really great. They were excellent matches. But the women's ladder match made me want to vomit, even though it booked the way I would have booked it. It fell flat at the end. I mean, we could just get into it. The Usos, I used to love when the Honky Tonk Man would get counted out on purpose to keep the title. They did it with such a lack of energy, and it was almost confusing. It was just like dusty finish after dusty finish after dusty. That's an F show saved by the two main events. And so that's the reason I'll give it a D+ or a C-. I'll be okay with either one.
I can't recall a time I've given a show a better score than you.
This is it. This is the one. It went 100%. It went the way I thought it would. It went the way I would have booked it. But there was something missing the whole time. There was something missing. I did like the Fashion Files Fashion Vice. I did like that. My line of the night was when he said it's a VHS tape, and he said Coliseum, and that made me laugh. I thought that was great, but other than that, it was an F.
Okay.
F.
So let me explain why I don't give it an F or a D+ or a C-. Now, keep in mind, I'm not defending an A score. I'm not even defending a B score. I'm going to be defending a C+ score.
Right. If anything, you're just trying to tell me why it shouldn't be a fail.
Okay. So, and I believe that I'm consistent with my grading, and I believe that that might be puzzling to you, but I've told you what I like out of pay-per-views. And last night had it for me. So my complaint about the last several pay-per-views, these B shows at the very least, are that they haven't felt special. They felt no more important than a SmackDown or a Raw. They've had no water cooler moments. They had no real storyline progression, and all those things and good wrestling, which are the three big things that I want. I want storyline progression, I want water cooler moments, and I want good wrestling. And last night, I feel like those things happened.
Outside of the Jinder Mahal Randy Orton and men's ladder match, do you really feel like you got good wrestling?
I'm defending a C+ score, so I'm not saying it was great. I thought the women's ladder match was better than I expected it to be, but only a little bit, not by much. And I had low expectations to begin with.
Do you think that was a terrible way to end it? I liked Ellsworth grabbing it, but I feel like they did it in a hurried way. Like it just didn't feel. I don't know. I feel like they could have done that better. The same exact thing. I feel like they could have done better.
It was really weird to me. The only weird thing I took from it was that in this world, this very new world for WWE, where they're trying to stuff down our throats that women are just as good as the men, that a man would win the first ever women's ladder match.
Oh, I know.
That just felt really weird to me. Agreed?
Absolutely. The first women's ladder match, the first women's Money in the Bank, and a guy grabs the case.
But the match was good. It even had "This Is Awesome" chants, which I thought were a little gratuitous, but you know,
I have a note about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be yelling "This is awesome," but I would be yelling "This is better than I expected." Like that's That's what I'd be chanting. You know, I would again. I'm not defending an A+ score. I'm defending a C+ score, and that's just my first.
It's okay.
Yeah, when I was
This is okay.
and I was expecting garbage. You know what I mean? So that's my thought about the women's ladder match. So there's that. Also, we had storyline progression there. James Ellsworth winning for Carmella. That's going somewhere. A good choice for the winner there. So I was okay. First match out the gate.
Carmella, I think, is a great choice for it. I loved she was wearing the money outfit, and he had the money outfit on as well. I thought that was a nice touch.
So let me tell you the next thing, and this is one I'm prepared to defend, because I feel like most of the post-to-post viewers will disagree with me here, especially gauging from the comments that or the message group we were in last night. Boy, I really liked the debut of Mike and Maria Kanellis.
I can't. You won't have to defend it against me. I simply asked the question: what did I see?
Okay.
What is this? Why should I care? I know who Maria is, but like revealed to us, like this should be something I should care about or no. I didn't, and I don't. So I asked the post-to-post people, what did I just see? And the answer I got was abortion. So
I don't think so. What was wrong? Okay, what was wrong with it? Before I say why I liked it, tell me why it was an abortion, because I don't think it was.
Well, I'm not the one that said that. I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad, but I didn't think it didn't move the needle for me. I didn't know. I knew who she was, but I didn't know. Like I thought I'd missed.
Well, I don't know who
something.
he is either. I mean, I know from the internet he's a TNA guy, just like Maria has been for the past 8 years or whatever.
And they're gonna be heels, and they're gonna be in love, and this is okay for me if it works.
This is
excited about it. I'm willing to give it a try.
So here's what I'm taking from what we saw last night. So someone was speculating. I don't remember who to attribute this to. It might have been Mike. Someone was speculating that he might be her second, kind of like James Ellsworth as the second to Carmella.
Okay.
And this is not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is literally an update of the Body Donnas, in that he is the wrestler, but she is the star. For example, he took her name, and she cut the promo. And Sunny was the star of the Body Donnas. You were watching in the Body Donnas time, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of know what their chemistry was like, and all I took from it, and I haven't been on any like real news sites today or anything, but I'm seeing it as the same exact thing as the Body Donnas. You got the super hot Sunny outside, showing her legs or whatever, and then you got the guy who's living in the shadows, working his butt off in the ring. In my opinion, I see it as that. And I like it.
Well, I hope that it's good, and I hope that SmackDown does something great with it. SmackDown did right by The Miz and Maurice, but then every other team that seems to go in there dies a terrible death.
This is not. Well, I wouldn't call this a team, at least in a sense of a tag team. I would call it a duo. The Body Donnas, they became a tag team. The iteration I'm talking about was just a duo. It was Skip and Sunny. So, right. And to be honest with you, why wait for SmackDown to have an exciting debut like that when you've got a pay-per-view right here? I feel like last month they would have held that off until Tuesday when I want it tonight. I want it on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Would you have liked to have seen a match attached to it?
It wouldn't have hurt, especially with the show with only 5 announced matches, but I don't need it. I was fine with what happened.
Okay.
So there was that. Then you have, I'm gonna bypass the tag title match, as in I was barely watching it. It didn't. I feel like I didn't see enough. I know it had the.
Dude, it was sloppy. I expect better from both teams. Sloppy, and there wasn't. And there were some good false finishes, and there were, and I was invested in that match because that match determined who destiny between you and me.
Correct.
But then the end was just super flat, and I see why you did that, but I feel like there was a more exciting way to do it. There was just so many things that they were doing. It's almost like they read the script and they said, okay, we'll do exactly this. And then they just didn't do it right. I would have given them the same script, but they're just not doing it right.
Okay. So I'm going to bypass that momentarily. And I'm also going to bypass the women's title match, which, okay, just bear with me here. Again, I'm defending a C+ score. I'm not defending an A+ score. Okay. So
okay,
the world title match, I loved because, first of all, I thought the choice to put Orton's father ringside, the rest of the St. Louis guys are cool, whatever. Specifically having Cowboy Bob there was a really good choice because it brought a different energy naturally out of Randy Orton and also Jinder Mahal. And he wasn't just there. He was a part of the match. That match, at no point in time does the intensity fade.
I mean, at one point, Jinder Mahal's in his lap.
It starts on a scale of 1 to 10. The intensity is like a 9 or a 10. And the whole match, the intensity stays above an 8. I was so proud of those guys. It was awesome. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. And then, like, when Orton is tearing the Bollywood boys apart outside, it was just as fun as it was last month. Man, I don't know. That match, wasn't expecting to love it the way that I did, but I did. It was
those Singh brothers, man, they can take some bumps, can't they?
Yeah.
They were getting tossed around.
They're Teflon. My God. And I don't know, at some point over the past month, maybe it was the Russo thing. Maybe it's because he's been special and he's been handled specially. But Jinder has become believable to me. At least he's getting there as a champion. I think he's doing a good job as a heel champion, and I loved that match last night. Loved it.
I'm on board because I've really been liking Jinder. I got over the rushed booking to get him there, and I've just been enjoying him being a champion.
My only complaint.
And it's been so great. And I thought the match was awesome last night. And he did something Bray Wyatt couldn't do at WrestleMania. Match out of Randy Orton. He got that passion back from Randy Orton. I thought Randy Orton was more interesting last night to watch wrestling than he has been since he returned from his injury.
So, like I said, we're talking about that wrestling buffet that Eric Bischoff talks about. And sometimes you want funny, and sometimes you want brutal, and sometimes you want high flying. And if I had to put a name on this dish that Jinder and Randy gave us last night, I'm calling this dish was intensity. And you got intensity the whole way through. And I really liked it. So there's that. And, I mean, I wouldn't say the story moved forward or whatever. But if you want stories moving forward, so first of all, one of my...
Were you annoyed that they didn't put that match on last?
Not as much as you guys were. I saw you guys commenting on that, and I think you both have a point. I guess I honestly feel, here's the way I feel. This is the perfect way to sum up the way I feel. The most anticipated match should go last, but also the world title match should usually be the most anticipated match.
That's what I think. And I also think you have that drama championship match after someone wins the Money in the Bank of, are they going to cash it in or not? But they'd already done that with the women, so I could see why they wouldn't want to do that again with the men,
Yeah.
Carmella coming out during the women's title match. So I get that. And Baron Corbin, quite honestly, you're not fooling me. No matter what happened on Talking Smack last night, no matter what he says.
Hold on, let's get there, because I haven't even seen that.
He's not going after Jinder.
And by the way, one thing I want to point out, I forgot to point this out. I actually think in the women's title match, you know how Carmella came out and teased the cash-in?
Yeah.
I believe that's going to be a gimmick for her. I think that's going to be like an every title defense thing. We're going to see Carmella come out and just at least remind us that she's got that briefcase.
And the man on your T-shirt right now, James Ellsworth.
Today's wardrobe. Last week it was furnished by Steve. Today's wardrobe furnished by Mr. Jerry Valeri. Thank you for the shirt. I'm wearing it to Raw tonight.
That's amazing. You're wearing Mr. Miss Money in the Bank.
So again, so let me keep going here. Let me just kind of give you everything I liked about last night, and then you can kind of come back with what you think, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm going to continue going here because next was something I was excited about. So it seemed really odd to me that the fashion police weren't booked for the show. We were talking about that on Friday's episode. We wanted to see them. Not only did they add the match to the underbooked show with the fashion police taking on Ascension, you kind of got you that had storyline progression for sure. If nothing else, we know who destroyed the office. You know what I mean? Like that went somewhere, and I'm not going to call it a great match, but I was real excited that they were just there, to be honest with you, and they had another funny backstage segment, which is really what I want from them. And then they had a quick match, and that was that, but I liked it.
Fashion Vice was great. It's hard to take away from all that stuff. It's so funny. They're good at it. Then you get the VHS tape, not Coliseum. It's Ascension eventually. I don't know. I'm not bummed out that it's Ascension. It ties into the other stories, but it would have been a cool reveal of another tag team, wouldn't it have been?
Cool, yeah, sure, but listen, I said I like stories to progress. I hate when nothing happens. And
who did you think it was? Because I'll tell you, I thought it was like heel turn American Alpha.
No, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, Jer. When I saw their silhouettes, I thought the only choice could be the Ascension.
Okay.
To be honest with you, but that's fine because they wiped the floor with them. And they wrapped up that feud, and now we can go on to something different. And again, it progressed. That's what I want out of a pay-per-view. I want it to be different than a SmackDown. You know what I mean? And at least they wrapped this up on the pay-per-view. Like I'm cool with that. What they should have done was on SmackDown have it be meet us in the ring on Sunday is the way I would have done it. But at least we got something.
Because then you have it's very cool because now people are talking about it. Who are they fighting? Mystery. It's a mystery opponent. It's much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So I would have done that angle last Tuesday to promote SmackDown, to promote Money in the Bank personally. But whatever, they did it, and they had the funny jokes and Paulie's cell phone and all the people hanging up on the wall, and I looked for the jokes, and that was fun, and that's what I want out of that. So there was that.
I like the blue steel. I like that one too.
With the steel cage.
Yeah.
I love those guys. It's great for old fans like us.
Yeah.
And then the only thing left to talk about is the main event, which you described as like a show-saving match. And I'm already sitting on a show that didn't need to be saved, to be honest with you. So this is where I'm coming from when I give it an above-average grade. I've laid out the things that I like out of pay-per-views before, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to say I'm giving it too high of a grade. That's what I like out of my pay-per-views. That's what I got. Not on a 10. I didn't give it an A+, but I'm giving it a high grade for my standard with a C+. So
you did not just give that show a C+, though.
Go ahead. What do you mean?
I just heard your description. You gave it a B. You gave it a B. That's a B. The way you're talking about this show sounds like a B. And if you believe it, then that's great.
No, I think it's a C+.
It
didn't.
When I think of a show, when I talk about a show as highly as you just did, I would have given it a B.
I'm focusing on the good. I mean, I slid right over the two lousy matches.
Yeah, there was a lot of lousy in there. The two main events saved it because flat execution. The women's thing was just so weird. The women's championship match, she did better than I thought she would.
I didn't pay a whole lot of attention, honestly.
It was still sloppy. She looked great. I mean, she's stunning,
Yes,
and she she didn't suck. Naomi, like I don't like any of it.
I agree. I'm so over Naomi. I always have been. I think that the whole fumbling of the title before WrestleMania was a big mistake. I think they should have sat on that a little longer instead of just rushing the title off of her. I would just have the title a little less visible for the month. I think that did her no favors when she came back and re-won it. I'm over her. It's the entrance, and then it's nothing. And then it can be even worse because we heard her on the mic. Was it last week or the week before? What's funny, Bugs Bunny? I don't know. It missed for me, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And then last night at some point, maybe it was Talking Smack, because I did watch Talking Smack, tweets from Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, and they'll both be addressing the women's division right away on Tuesday night. So I won't be turning it on until 8:30 because I'm sick of it.
Well, I want to see what they have to say, I guess. I'm not going to skip anything. Tony's already theorizing on one of my posts that they're going to announce that James Ellsworth is the actual winner and has the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I do think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't see it happening personally, but I did say to Tony, it's like, for all effects, everything you thought was going to happen happened. So, I know I said that too. I said that
right. I mean,
James
Ellsworth
will either
grabbed the case.
Win it for Carmella or cost it for her.
Yeah, we booked the show. I don't know. I think I give it a B+.
Hey, and by the way,
I wasn't happy with it, but the two things I was happy with, man, I hope they just keep pushing with it. I hope that Jinder Mahal is now done with Randy Orton, and he's moving on. I think this is where we enter John Cena, maybe.
For sure.
I think feed, but I hope you feed Jinder someone before Cena just beats him. Time till SummerSlam. So Jinder's going to have another title defense. So I hope you just feed him somebody.
Boy, I don't feel like 4th of July to SummerSlam is a long time. But
it is if you look at the number of pay-per-views they have. Hey,
at least we have 3 weeks until the next one instead of 2.
Right. It's breaking because it's killing my Sunday nights. You know what I like to do on Sunday nights? Get early. My wife naked. You know what WWE does? It's keeping me from banging. That's what it's doing. Every Sunday night, I've got a pay-per-view.
I'm just going to say
I'm trying to bang over here, WWE.
I can feel you there for sure. I think it cost me one last night, too. Oh, hold on. What are you up to? This is probably why we need to keep the videos.
Trying to bang.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Didn't get the bang. No, what did I get instead? I got Ascension fighting them Fashion Files. I got to watch Lana do 4 moves.
All right, so before you address anything else about what I said, I want to say 2 things that were really bad besides those 2 matches. As you just mentioned, the show was very predictable, and the show was booked poorly in that there were only 5 announced matches. None of them were really booked all that well. They wound up being okay, but in my opinion, it had a bad month leading up to it, and it was very underbooked going into the show. There are 2 things that I can take away from what I thought would be a decent score.
I feel like listening to podcast is starting to ruin everything for me because they don't know how to write a show. They don't know how to write a show. They don't know how to book a show. Now, I think he's too negative. I get so sick.
That's true.
I turned it off the other day. I mean, it's so negative. And that guy that he's with, I hate that guy. Anything. He just like, you got it, boss. I don't know, boss. I don't know. And he just parrots whatever Vince says.
You are nailing it.
I don't like that guy at all, but it's so negative. But he's right. And he'll say things like, why don't you just simply, instead of blowing off a main event and a show in 13 minutes, spread it out throughout the show? Or why don't we do this? And why don't you do that? And And I'm looking at the WWE and I'm like, why aren't you doing this stuff? You don't have to do every Vince Russo idea in the world. Ask WCW. That's not a good idea. What I'm saying is, why don't you maybe take a little more time cultivating stories and write your show a little better? I feel like the WWE, I'm on a soapbox now, buckle up, I'm sorry. But I feel like the WWE for a while now, you go back before the House of Horrors, they do this too much now. They don't give you enough information. We've gone into so many pay-per-views where we don't know if someone's defending the title, if the title's on the line or not, or what this entails or not. They're withholding rules. They're withholding stipulations. You don't know if there's even a match on the pre-show or the kickoff show. They're not telling you the card anymore. I don't know what their end game is. I don't know why that's the way it is. You can't just say, this is who you're going to see. This is what we're going to do. These are the matches we have planned. And then sprinkle in surprises instead of just having like, we only have 4 matches announced, but no surprises. Well, you better hope there are some freaking surprises because you're going to be ending your pay-per-view 90 minutes early, you jing-jongs.
I agree with you. I agree with him. Well, and I just want to say that, for the record, I don't think anyone put a better wrestling TV show together than Vince Russo did, if you want my honest opinion. I don't know why he must have just, I don't know. I don't know if he was tough to work with. I get why Bischoff doesn't like him. And I guess
he gets a ton of heat. It's funny. He gets a ton of heat, and he also gets a ton of credit. Ed Ferrara gets none of either. And I don't know why that is either, because didn't they write the show together?
Yeah, that's my understanding too. I wondered the same thing. Maybe it's because Vince was more outspoken. He's more visible, whether you're talking about on TV during the Attitude Era or if you're talking about post wrestling. He's been more visible than Ed ever was. But still, I'm always on his side in any of these online feuds that he finds himself in. I don't know why, and you even threw out the consultant idea, which I've thought of before. He has so many good ideas that they just bat away because he's got the reputation that he has, which I still don't know how it got there.
If he could just find a way to change his name and then apply for a job, he'd get it, because he's very good. The only thing that's bad about him is he's got that guy on his podcast named Jeff that I can't stand.
Yeah.
If you say, I don't know, one more time during a podcast, I'm going to drive to Evansville or wherever you're broadcasting from and punch you in the teeth.
I don't know where he is. Vince is, right, my understanding is still in Evansville, which, hey, if you ever look, I don't want to fish for someone's job. I hear he doesn't get paid, but if you want someone to do a podcast with you, I'm available, Vince.
Vince, I want to talk to you, Vince. I have a lot of respect for Vince. I really do. I think he's awesome. We both are in Camp Russo, which is not a popular camp to be in, and I don't understand why.
And let me also tell you, I had a thought, but I just lost it. When it comes to if your co-host is so important in a podcast, and if you need proof of this, look no further than Conrad Thompson on Bruce Pritchard's podcast. I don't know if you listen to that or not, but he is an amazing co-host. He is so good at it. Everyone has that review of it. He's so well informed. He's so well researched, and he is the reason, believe it or not, Bruce comes in with the info and the experience and the commentary. But Conrad does such a good job steering that ship. I just feel like Vince needs one of those. And I know for a minute he was looking for what he called his hot Robin. He was looking for a Robin character like Howard has Robin. And I know I don't fit that bill. But again, if he ever catches wind of this, I'd be happy to help steer your ship if you want.
Why don't you? Can you make a ticket to Raw available for him today? Go to Raw with him tonight.
I don't think he'd go with a stranger who's essentially he knows as no more than a fan. And B, I don't know that he's one to be. I mean, like imagine you leave your job at your radio station and then there's going to be some big station event. You might not want to show your face. You know, it's personal for him. It's different. So I'm not saying he does or he doesn't. Hey, dude, we've been tagged on Twitter together. I'm at the Rob's tweets. If you need a ticket, Russo, get in touch with me.
Yeah, because who would be the man to deny Vince Russo a ticket to Raw? Really?
And I feel like it's also kind of insulting because, I mean, like, the tickets are like $20. Like, I'm sure Russo's doing okay. I'm sure he can afford a ticket.
I thought Raw tickets are like hundreds of bucks.
I mean, if you want to sit on the floor.
Yeah, that's where I want to sit, Rob.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think Russo's. It's not like with a lot of the listeners. Sure, they need tickets because they can't go otherwise. I'm saying I bet you Russo can get a ticket.
Russo could probably get a ticket. He probably could get.
I feel like it's insulting to him to say that I'm his into the WWE Raw.
No, but it'd be nice for him to go with you. I think that you guys could form a friendship.
He's never met me. He doesn't know me.
That's why he needs to meet you. I think you're awesome. I think you're delightful.
Thank you.
I think you're lovely, and I've never had more fun at any wrestling show. And I went to Hell in a Cell 98 without you. And I'm telling you, I have fun with you at wrestling shows. So Vince Russo, you're doing yourself a disservice by not going, my friend Rob.
Well, I'm going with my girlfriend. But, I mean, if he needs a ticket, I'll be happy to get him one. Just as a thank you for the attitude.
Now, if Vince Russo called you today, here's a hypothetical that's bound to get you in trouble. If Vince Russo calls you today and says, hey, bro, I need a ticket, bro. I want to go with you, bro. I want to sit with you, bro. I want to go with you, bro. Hashtag bro. Oh, Brittany, sorry, I got to go to the show with Vince Russo.
Next question.
My next question is simple. Are you excited for tonight? Because I see a lot of wrestlers are already in town.
Oh yeah, we're a block from the building, and it's WWE trucks everywhere. Our parking lot's already full. I don't even know how I'm going to get down to the show tonight if I can't park here. I always just park here at the station.
That's so exciting, man. And you said that Kurt Angle was already in town eating at our place.
He's eating at Denny's, yeah. I love it.
Love it.
Listen, tomorrow, unless there's anything you want to throw in, we can start typing tomorrow's podcast if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's hype tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be fun because it will be a Raw review that I watched and you were in attendance.
A lot of the post-to-post universe is going to be in attendance.
That's awesome. So a lot of people are going to that show tonight. And then do they do a lot of dark stuff anymore after Raw?
I don't know. We have 2 advertised matches. One's Joe and Rollins, and then I feel like there was another one that I'm forgetting.
Well, you're getting that big announcement by Roman Reigns tonight, so get ready to boo.
I'm getting ready. I
mean, he's going to announce his SummerSlam opponent. I wonder who it'll be.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Are you thinking Brock Lesnar?
How can he just announce Brock Lesnar's his announcement? You can't just be like, I'm making that'd be like me saying, I've made an announcement. He taking over for Howard Stern. Like I'm not allowed to make that announcement.
Well, okay. First of all, it's WWE, and second of all, I think they're saving that for Mania, but I could be wrong.
No, I think it's a Braun Strowman thing. I think that at least I hope, because Braun will be back by then, so maybe it'll be.
Oh.
The end of that. I don't know what it could be.
Steve just reminded me. We also, again, these dark matches, they're always advertised, but they never ever happen. Steve reminded me Roman Reigns is supposed to take on Bray Wyatt tonight.
Seth Rollins is the one feuding with Bray. I wonder, is the Beast in town? No Lesnar tonight?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm so excited for you. You guys are going to have a good time. I can't wait to hear about it tomorrow. We'll do our Raw review. I hope it's a good Raw Plus show.
Me too. I love Raws. I'm excited. I'm wearing your shirt tonight, bud. Thank you.
Hey, no, bro. Are you making a sign, or do you not make signs anymore?
I don't make signs. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I make signs.
Hey, I'd lose my crap though if I saw a post-to-post sign.
make a post-to-post sign. I'm not telling Rob to do it. Rob can't do that. Rob can't make a post.
Yeah, it's not cool if I do it.
Somebody else make a post-to-post sign. And if you make a post-to-post sign and it gets on television and I see it tonight, I will post it and I will mail you a thank you note.
Perfect. All right, man.
I have no prizes.
Hey, I think a lot of them will probably accept the thank you note.
Right. I'll send you a thank you note. If I see post-to-post sign on TV tonight, I'm going to lose my mind.
All right, man. You ready to wrap this up then?
Wrap it up.
How about me giving a higher grade to a pay-per-view, a B pay-per-view than you?
Mark it down. That's the first.
So, all right, for myself, the Rob, and my tag team partner in podcasting, the very thankful, so thankful he will send people notes, Jerry Valeri. We will see you at Raw tonight and another episode tomorrow. Tweet me, Vince. Watch Vince Russo makes a post-to-post sign.
I'd blow my shit. I needed a address so I could send him a